When you get right down to it, the time span was relatively short, covering a very brief period in jazz history of only about 15 to 20 years, during which the swing dance craze and the large orchestrations of swing music coincided in mutual popularity. Of course, there were big bands playing back in the 1920s, and there are revival-type groups still around into the second decade of the 21st century. That latter fact alone is an excellent demonstration of the lasting qualities of the music. We'll have stories about those current outfits, but the primary focus will be on the bands that were on hand in the heyday of the music. Woody Herman, for example, was one of the longest surviving from the old days. He got started in 1936 with his band that plays the blues and was still going with top-notch sounds into the 1980s. I talked with him about how he always seemed to have young band members who produced excellent music over the years, and asked how he managed to do that. Well, we had a lot of help. Every now and then some fan of our outfit would come along and tell us, "You ought to hear a kid we know play the tenor. He's really something." Maybe he was and maybe he wasn't, but it didn't take an awful lot of time and effort to find out, when possible, if we got a chance to hear that kid play, and he really did have talent. We'd kind of put him on a mental waiting list. We'd tell him our sax section was full up right now, but if something happened where we might be able to fit him in, we'd be in touch. That certainly brightened his day, and sometimes there would be a chance you never knew, but it gave us a kind of reserve squad. I don't know for sure that other leaders worked at least somewhat like that, but it wouldn't surprise me, because good talent wasn't always easy to come by, and having a stable of reserves often made our job a lot easier. Woody himself had gotten started playing with groups when he was only 14 years old, which would put it in 1927 with his birth date in May of 1913. He was with a couple of lesser bands while in high school, and one of them had a guy playing baritone sax named Alvin Morris. A later career for that individual found him changing his name to Tony Martin, but making it big as a singer. He was also lucky enough to meet and marry beautiful dancer-actress Sid Charisse, who also had a name change. She was born Tula Elise Finkley, and their marriage lasted 60 years and her death at 86 in 2008.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.